Chapter 93. One Piece Hallmaster, Guhai. Silver Moon City. The first zither building on this street. Below this is the last piece of Dragonbone Ancient Kin. Silver Moon Villa Master Yun Mo personally cast it. I won't introduce it. All of you are well aware of its value. Now start auctioning. The starting price is 100 top-grade spirit stones, an auctioneer shouted. I bid 100 top-grade spirit stones. I bid 200. I bid 250. I bid 800 upper-grade spirit stones. Good. Congratulations to this buyer. 800 upper-grade spirit stones. This last piece of Dragonbone Gukin belongs to you. The auctioneer laughed. The auction ended. In an attic upstairs, Sima Changkong and Shangwen Scar sat together, looking down at the auction below. Thank you, Lord Sima, for your cooperation. I thank you on behalf of the Emperor, Shangwen Trace solemnly said. Sima Changkong frowned as he looked downwards. I just raised my hand. I didn't do anything. It's just that this whole time, there have been auctions of these dragon bones. What is Guhai doing? The Emperor sent a letter here. Naturally, he has a purpose. Shangwen Trace shook his head without explaining. Sima Changkong, however, still frowned and said, these Dragonbone musical instruments, they are all from the group of dragons that used to guard the Silver Moon Sea, also counted as King Liu Yang's subordinates. Making musical instruments out of the dragon bones is an insult to the group of dragons that King Liu Yang sat down with. Is Guhai trying to provoke the group of dragons? Guhai was playing with fire, a dangerous move. Could he handle it? Moreover, even if Guhai can hide, what about the Great Han Dynasty of the 9-5 Islands? How can they hide? His Majesty has his own plans. Shangwen Trace shook his head and didn't explain. Gengjin Sect Headquarters, 100,000 mountains. The Gungjin Sect was nearly extinguished by the group, and those who escaped were few and far between, and could not become a climate. Under Huangfu Chaoji's guidance, the million-strong army instantly saw the inner view of that human tragedy of the Devil's Cave, and some of the Gengjin Sect's disciples who had been restrained earlier confirmed everything. Kill them, this group of devils, kill them. Gungjin Sect. How could my city be loyal to this group of devils? City Lord, my sister died a horrible death. Millions of troops, immediately filled with righteous indignation. This creepy scene has long overturned all recognition of the Gungjin Sect. The former moralistic Gungjin Sect Lord turned out to be a man-eating brain demon. Pass my order. The whole city wanted the remnants of the disciples of the Gengjin Sect, regardless of life and death. The seizure and capture is a heavy reward, and secondly, the evil deeds of this place will be spread to the 4 directions of the city. Let the surrounding people wake up to the devil's deeds, a city lord shouted at once. From now on, my city will have nothing more to do with the Gengjin Sect. There was no need for a Huangfu Chaoji to reverse the situation. The group's thoughts had already shifted. Ma Huangfu, the Gungjin Sect has been destroyed, and the 18 cities in its grasp. If you have the ability, collect them as soon as possible. Otherwise, there will soon be other forces coming. Guhai looked towards Huangfu Chaoji as well. Thanks a lot this time, Mergu. Huangfu Chaoji nodded. There's no need to thank me. They're Emperor Liu Yang's minions. They're all going to die. Your identity has been exposed. It's best to return to Dynasty Capital immediately, Guhai solemnly said. You're not going back with me. Huangfu Chaoji frowned at Guhai. As I said before, forcing King Liu Yang to establish a state is the first step. Destroying the Gengjin Sect is the second step. And the third step is next. And it won't stop for a moment. This time, it was Ao Shun who came here and was scared away, making my third step even more certain. That's why I must go and set it up right away. Huangfu Chaoji nodded with a slight sigh and said, half of the spirit stones scavenged from the Gengjin Sect. I'll take half of them for the turnover of the Divine Foothills Dynasty, and the remaining half You take them with you. 800 million top-grade spirit stones, giving half to Gu Hai. At this moment, it was a moment where no one could pick holes in it. This time, to exterminate the Gungjin sect, the Great Han Dynasty and the Divine Foothill Imperial Dynasty had cooperated. Gu Hai had put up the array, Huang Fu Chug had put up the money, and one of the two was indispensable. Thank you then, Gu Hai nodded, and didn't refuse. Swoosh! Right at this moment, a stream of light shot from the distance, but it was a flying boat that instantly arrived close by. The faces of the crowd changed, but they quickly soothed. The person who came was no one else, but Master Lionian. I went to Foothill God City and none of you were there. I knew you were here, Grandmaster Liu Nian exclaimed. Turning his head, Grandmaster Liu Nian looked round at the wretched 100,000 mountains, took a deep breath, and looked at Gu Hai and Huang Fu Chaoj in surprise. You guys are so powerful. The Zhengjin sect was overthrown this way. Grandmaster Liu Nian was surprised. A close call. Gu Hai shook his head and smiled bitterly. Master, you're alone, Huang Fu Chaoj said curiously. Grandmaster Liu Nian nodded. Gu Hai, this is the holy decree given to you by the Emperor. Take the decree. Grandmaster Liu Nian took out a volume of the holy decree and looked towards Gu Hai. However, at this moment, Gu Hai was frowning slightly and shook his head. Thanks, Master, I'd better not take it. Gu Hai, the scent is enthroning you as the new Hall Master of the One Piece Hall. Grandmaster Liu Nian was puzzled. With a slight bitter smile, Gu Hai shook his head and said, Back then, when I joined the Hall of One Piece, I wasn't aiming for an official position in the Great Jin Dynasty. And even more so now. Hall Master of the Hall of One Piece, it's better to forget about it. I have my own Great Han Dynasty. There's no need for me to go to the Great Jin Dynasty to become an official. When I joined the Hall of One Piece, it was only to repay the favor. Wan Qing helped me with my innate heaven back then, and I was grateful to her before joining the Hall of One Piece. Now that Wan Qing is gone, I don't have the heart to join the Hall of One Piece anymore. Master Liu Nian was slightly stunned, then sighed slightly. Mr. Gu, it is your good fortune that you met Wan Qing, and how is it not Wan Qing's good fortune that she met you? However, it would be best for you to take this holy decree. Hey, Gu Hai frowned as he looked at Master Liu Nian. The Hall of One Piece, as well as the Divine Opportunity Battalion back then, as you should know, is not an official establishment of the Great Jin Dynasty, but rather belongs to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Grandmaster Liu Nian explained. What's wrong with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is not subject to the establishment of the dynasty, can come and go as you please, only need to deal with some special affairs of the saint, their own outside, can do their own things, such as your establishment. In fact, in the case of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, is not know that the Divine Mechanism Battalion Lord Li Shenji, although it is also a member of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but he himself has also founded a clan. Oh, do you know it? Master Liu Nian said. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, unchecked, Gu Hai said doubtfully. Yes. In other words, it's like a guest minister, a supernumerary member only responsible for the task of the Holy Lord, the first grade Hall Master. That's how it is, the first grade Hall Master. It won't affect your Great Han Dynasty. On the contrary, there are times when the use of the first grade Hall facilitates, and it's more capable of assisting the Great Han Dynasty to be stronger, Grandmaster Liu Nian explained. Gu Hai frowned slightly and remained silent for a while before finally shaking his head. No need. I know there are benefits, but since I founded the country, always thinking of relying on external forces to receive help is ultimately not good. The country must be self-strengthening and self-reliant. On the side, Huang Fu Chaoj looked at Gu Hai in surprise. Huang Fu Chaoj is also a king of a country, naturally knows the difficulty of running a country. If it is himself, maybe he can't help this temptation. But Gu Hai, Mr. Gu, I think you'd better take it. Alas, Master Liu Nian sighed slightly. After all, this is the property of mother and daughter Wanqing, Yipin Tang. If you don't run it, it will be mastered by someone else. Do you want mother and daughter Wanqing's Yipin Tang to be given to someone else's control? Grandmaster Liu Nian advised. Secondly, you promised Wanqing to take care of her sister, Longwanyu. You don't have the status of One Piece Hall. It's difficult for you to see her. How can you protect her? Gu Hai frowned in contemplation. After a long moment of silence, Gu Hai nodded and said, "All right, I'll temporarily take over the position of One Piece Hall Master." Gu Hai received the holy decree. Master Liunian took out a purple token and said, Wanqing's One Piece Hall Master token was destroyed. His Holiness gave another one. This is the One Piece Hall Master token. Not yet the same as a marquee. Gu Hai gently received it. Boom. Steeply, a golden stream of chi came out of nowhere and instantly enveloped Gu Hai. This is chi. What a huge chi. Gu Hai's face changed. This quantity of chi was actually as much as half of the chi that had seized the Zhengjin sect before. The chi count circled around Gu Hai's body and immediately surged within the purple One Piece Hall token. The token was close to his body, and he was able to transfer this part of his chi luck in general at any time. Originally, Wanqing was prepared to take you to the imperial capital, handing the Book of Invitation to the Holy Lord for an inspection, and the Holy Lord's royal seal and seal. Only then will you be rewarded by lowering your chi luck. But this time, the Holy Lord himself issued a decree to you, but it is exempted from this process. This is the chi number of the Master of the whole of One Piece. And every 10 years, a batch of rewards will be given out. And this is the first batch, Grandmaster Liunian explained. Gu Hai looked at the token. The front side had the word Yipin. The reverse side had the word Gu Hai. It was very similar to the Water Rudder Master token. It came with a small space, just 10 times larger than the Water Rudder token space. And large swathes of chi luck were hidden in this small space, to be retrieved at any time. Gu Hai nodded. By the way, Gu Hai, perhaps you need to be careful. Longwanyu is not too friendly towards you. He might think that you killed Wanqing. So beware. Master Liu Nian smiled bitterly. Longwanyu, where is she now? Gu Hai said doubtfully. The sun forbade her to come out, but she kept making a scene. In the end, the Sant had no choice but to send someone to protect her, and only allowed her to head to the Divine Martial King's military camp, so that the Divine Martial King could protect her, and she's still quite safe now. Promulgating the holy decree to you, I will immediately go back to look after her. Grandmaster Liu Nian smiled bitterly. Grandmaster, on Longwanyu's side, I'll labor you to take more care of her, Gu Hai solemnly said. I will. By the way, where is Mu Chunfeng and the batch of tree people? Grandmaster Liu Nian was puzzled. Mu Chunfeng, I sent him on an errand. This time, whether or not I can kill Aoshan, it depends on the results on Mu Chunfeng's side, Gu Hai said in a deep voice. On the side, Huang Fu Chaoj raised his eyebrows slightly and said, Third step. Your third step is to kill Aoshan. Aoshan, that's an open heaven palace powerhouse. Grandmaster Liu Nian's face also changed. I know, well, I have to take my leave as well. The army is precious, there's no delay. Gu Hai shook his head and bid farewell to the crowd. After briefly saying a few more words, Huang Fu Chaoj arranged for 3 subordinates to be given to Gu Hai, who drove the White Cloud flying boat, carrying 400 million top Great Spirit Stones and a large number of Zhengjin sect's secret books of feats and techniques, and shot off towards the northeast.